Hi, guys, and welcome to Pen's Notes. I'm Peniel, your host. And who do we have in studio today?
Hi everyone, I'm Josh.
Hi, I'm Ariel.
And double OJ Tobi.
Right. Double OJ is crazy.
After what Timmy did last time.
No, you have to set the pace.
I've been working on having something smooth. Don't worry, still in the works.
I was going to say still. Wait.
It's still in the works. It's still in the works.
You're not serious, actually. Mr. Double OJ.
Double OJ Tobi.
Anyways, so what did you guys note this week? Like, what's your hot take? Anyone can go or I can go. Who's feeling it?
Let's hear yours first.
Yeah, let's hear
Okay.
yours.
My own hot take is that I think there needs to be some kind of clubbing etiquette or clubbing decorum that is generally established. Unfortunately, I hate when I'm in the club, right? And it's so packed, it's like basically a mosh pit. And then somebody wants to be right in the middle, jump in and pushing I think if you know it's packed and you want to dance, there's nothing wrong with dancing in the club. There's nothing wrong with you're feeling the music. You want to drop to your knees. You want to do whatever you want. Find a space that you can do that. You don't have to be right in the front, right in the middle. If you want to actually dance, maybe go to the back or go to a corner in the side. But I think it's so disrespectful and so rude when everyone is in a cramped space. People can barely move. And you're there, you must be moving your elbow. You must be jumping. I think we need to establish, if it was up to me, my own dictatorship, we will seclude them in their own area. All the jumpers will be secluded in their own private area, away from the civilized people, because it's getting ridiculous now. It's actually getting ridiculous. That thing pisses me off.
And it's just lack of spatial awareness. Like, what's going on here? Why are you just hitting everybody and it's just okay to you? Like
when Delana comes on, don't you think me too? I want to put my hands on my head and do the African skank and be whatever. Like, bro, you have to. You have to.
The truth of the matter is, all of us have been that person. You just don't know.
I've never been that person. I have never been that person.
When you have
when I can feel someone's skin brushing up on my skin when I'm dancing,
when you have enough liquor in your system,
it's not about liquor.
You don't feel any of that, bro.
No matter how much liquor I have in my system, I'm not pushing anyone to dance. So if I really want to dance, I would either move away to a space where I think there's free, where I can actually dance.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be, and there's also the people that tend to do that, the ones that want to go right in the front. You can't have it both ways. You can't go right to the front where the DJ can see you, or you're making eye contact with the DJ and be jumping and be pushing everyone. It's just it's unethical.
I think everybody has been that.
It's unethical.
I think if I were drunk, if I was even in a cramped space, it would make me feel sick.
Yeah.
Really?
There's nothing wrong with dancing. I'm not saying that the people that like to do circles should not, it's just one of those things where I think especially even the DJ Tunes thing, we're all there. It was really, really packed. There's this one guy in front of us. He's there doing the movement. There's no space, bro.
My brother was there. Actually, wasn't my brother.
Me could be him. If he's your brother, there's no space, bro. There's no space. It just annoys me, but that's just my own hot take.
Me, I've definitely been that guy.
And that's crazy.
When I have enough liquor in my system,
Clearly.
You be pushing everyone.
I don't even know if I'm pushing people or not. I'm in my own world, bro.
And that's the problem. I think just that, it's heavy on what Ariel said about spatial etiquette. I feel with spatial awareness, I think you actually have to understand that there are other people in this space, and it's already one of those things. Everyone's being pushed. So if I could help it to whatever extent I can, maybe not move as much or move out of their way, then I would. There's no point of me. The music cannot be that deep that I'm elbowing someone because of that. It's not
for sure.
But what's your guys' hot take? Who wants to go next?
Maybe Josh can go next. We can go this way.
Why are you dictating? Who needs to go next? Let me free space. Whoever feels free to speak. Do you want to go, Ariel? Do you want to go?
Think of a hot take.
Okay, I'll say mine. This is like a hot take / I don't know what it is, but it's kind of a hot take, but it's more of I don't know how to describe it. Let me just say it. Everybody has so much designer.
Okay.
Women wear that Goyard bag to work. And I've seen so many, and nobody can tell me. No, it's true. Yeah, this is my hot take. My hot take is 90% of people flexing in that shit is fake.
Oh, okay.
True.
That's my hot take.
Yeah.
Nah, 90%, bro.
I think that's high. 90%. I know. But
come on, have you ever?
Especially that Goyard bag.
Yo.
Yeah. They're not fakes. To be fair, I had a friend that she had the Goyard, and I was like, oh, they're so pretty. And she's like, oh yeah, she just bought this on random.
Yo,
But for me,
I'm
I think
telling
with the fakes though, it's one of those things where like, if you like the concept of a bag, you can get the concept without it actually having that G and everything. Like, you don't have to get the carbon
come on.
concept.
But
You
that's
don't have
the
to
thing.
look exactly like
Yeah,
that.
but
You're not getting it for the
I
concept.
get Tobi's point because they're chasing the logo.
Yes.
Okay.
So like the point is not that they want a well constructed bag. They want
the logo.
Even if the bag is plastic.
No, it's true. It's true.
Oh, is it plastic?
Yo, and that's
plastic.
I want to say 90%. The reason I say that is, have you ever sat down and Googled like, oh, average salary for this age range in London? There's no way you are spending.
But who's saying that men are buying it for them? Who's saying that
now.
their parents are not buying it for them?
And
I don't know.
if their men are buying it for them,
Oh, their parents.
Reference my
It
previous.
It could even be
Last
your
episode.
or you're even taking your mom's bag. Your mom might have the bag and you're taking it.
True.
But then I do think that like.
But then anyway, it's true. If someone else is buying it, fair enough. But like,
it's
I just know
like
there's a lot of fakes out there.
There are a lot of
Facts,
fakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like too many and really good fakes. When I was in Malaysia, let me not say anything. Just know that.
He said just no.
You see Tobi with the
I mean,
Goyard bag.
no, right?
I'll never do that. There's a level of designer where you can't do fake, bro.
No, right. But we're not just talking
Wait,
about
so what
this,
level of design can you do fake?
Supreme.
Supreme is the max.
We were talking about
Supreme is the max. Supreme is the max. And it depends what it is. Not the shirts or
designer.
jeans.
It's
It has to be
like
something
custom
practical that's
No,
needed.
but like I guess
It has to be something practical that's needed. Like, okay, like if I needed a pouch to get on plane and like I needed something with enough
see how the
space.
justification is coming.
And I
in.
saw something that was Supreme but not Supreme and it's like £15.
Get a
He's
normal-
speaking of experience.
You're
Speaking of
getting
experience, by the way.
bro.
You say what
He's
you did
speaking of
last week.
experience.
If you see me with a Supreme,
Play back last week
Supreme.
for us.
Like,
if you can't prove it, you can't prove it. How do you know someone buy it for me? Oh, I'm not carrying
crazy.
someone
But does
else's
this not
bag.
does this not match what you're saying about like the fact that like
No, but come on, like there's a difference between buying a fake Supreme pouch and buying a Goyard. I didn't do that, but there's a difference between buying a fake Supreme pouch and buying a fake Goyard bag or fake LV shoes or fake Gucci.
I think the core of the buying is the same.
No,
the
but
core
buying-
of the reason
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
both of them.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Supreme is not like
I
a
would say-
high-end brand. Like I didn't buy it.
But you
because-
saw
I
it and you thought, I
understand
like
what you mean, but
Supreme.
you like
saw it
Supreme and you're
exactly.
chasing
Logo.
Supreme.
Yeah.
I saw it
Your
and I
point is
thought,
not that you wanted a normal.
Nah.
it looks
You
like
wanted just a
Supreme
regular
bag.
pouch.
No,
You
no.
wanted a regular
I
pouch.
saw it.
But you
Wait,
saw
wait.
Supreme and you said, Supreme.
How did my hot take end up being against me?
No, because you
No,
can't have it both
it's not
ways.
against
You
you,
can't have it
it's
both
more
ways.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
I saw it and I thought I would probably wear this a lot more than I would wear a plain back pouch. So
Why?
let me- Because
Because
it's
it's
Supreme on it.
Supreme.
Duh.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. The
point.
core is the same.
But I
That's
could have
the
got a
point.
plain black one, but it was like, okay, like I'll probably just wear
Okay,
that
so
to
what's the
airport
difference between
and
your
dash
line
it.
of reasoning and
And
someone with the
someone that
Goyard
buy
bag's
LV
line of
because they will
reasoning?
probably wear it more
Because
that's
they saw
LV.
the Goyard bag and
Okay. Let me ask you a question, right? This is the difference.
Yeah.
If you saw someone and they were wearing like fake, imagine there was a way to get fake Primark top.
Okay.
And they went-
Primark.
Yes. I said imagine. I
I
said
think
imagine.
it's
It's
the point.
hypothetical.
Explaining is
It's hypothetical.
It's
cosplay.
It's
Hypothetical.
hypothetical.
Yeah, go on, go on,
It's
go on.
hypothetical, right?
Was it M&S?
Let's say M&S.
Fake M&S.
Anything. Fake
Primark
M&S.
does not make
Fake
sense.
M&S.
It doesn't make sense.
Because okay, imagine you see someone wearing fake M&S or whatever, right? And you see it and they're like, oh, this is fake M&S. You're gonna be like, okay, whatever. Like, but if you see someone wearing fake, something that's like higher end, like the how high end it is makes a difference.
Well, they don't make
but
fake
the
like-
reason that I don't really know if you can use that example is that a fake M&S doesn't have
They don't have
noticeable
fake.
branding.
Okay,
So you
something
can't
else
tell.
that has
For
noticeable
premium.
branding.
Yeah,
that is
you
not,
can't tell if
There's
someone-
different
M&S
levels.
and
There's
if it's not,
there's
yeah.
LV, there's Gucci, there's like high, very
Yeah,
high
yeah.
end. I feel like if you're getting very high end, then yes, you're going for the because of the brand, because you want people to because you want people to look at you and be like, oh, this person has this. I would never wear a Supreme pouch and
actually-
expect people to look at me and be
actually-
like, oh wow, Supreme pouch.
I
Ever.
have a perfect example. Okay, so have you guys recently seen the news about the Swatch and Audemars Piguet?
Yeah.
Swatch. That was
So,
today, right?
so
Yeah.
basically, that is, in essence, not a fake, but like what they're doing is, historically, apparently, like they had some legal thing they wanted to do. They wanted to try to
about
trademark the shape.
of the
Yes,
face.
Okay.
they couldn't do it.
Okay.
This is the
So
shape.
that then means, and obviously now,
That's why I got this watch, because I got the shape. Literally.
exactly. So that's
Someone got it for me,
That,
and that's
that
why I
is
liked it.
exactly what
Yeah.
they're trying to avoid, right? Where people are obviously, because like when they made it back then, like obviously they're the biggest, whatever. Like now, anybody in China can create that thing and it
Yeah.
looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
What they're now trying to do is, okay, to save the name, they're now collabing with a less brand, like a less
Okay.
premium brand.
Yeah,
That'll
that
still
can use
carry
that
the
same
name,
shape.
but like it's basically them trying to insure themselves from guys
Yeah.
buying fake ones.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
But you see,
So
even
it's kind of like that.
I think even things with the shape, I think there's a difference between shape and when it clearly says the name and the name
Yeah.
is different. I think
Penny,
that's
if
where...
No,
you're over
it
in the
depends on the
distance in a
brand.
dark club and I do this.
No. I mean, I'm not really a watch.
You're not
person.
gonna know what the hell it is.
It's like every brand has its thing that you recognize it as.
Brand
Okay,
identity.
that's
Nike
fair.
is the swoop.
Yeah.
With Piguet, it's the shade.
Okay.
With
Royal
Supreme,
Oak, yeah.
it's the logo, right?
Okay.
So it's people would want to create fakes based on
People
the
like
thing
that.
that you can recognize. it
Yeah,
as.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's
Pretty
fair.
much, yeah.
Do you know what? I feel like as much as Tobi, I get your point, and I do feel like there are definitely people out there that like, buy fakes. I think sometimes you also have to like abolish this mentality where people see someone with something that's luxury and assume that it has to be fake. I think especially when it comes to like, not to even make this a race thing, but I think when it comes to the Black community, like this my friend that I'm telling you about, like she's Middle Eastern. And I feel like with her carrying a Goyard, if she had not told me it was fake, I would never have assumed it was fake, right? But it's so interesting where I tell more times when I hear people say, it must be fake, is when it's like a young Black person or a young Black girl. It's kind of like, no, I'm not saying you. For example, even I remember when I was in uni and I had these Gucci sneakers and I was wearing it. And then I remember this one guy was like, why are you walking around with fake Gucci sneakers? And I was like, why would your first assumption be that it's fake?
Yeah, but it's
Like, I definitely think
He
that
was just
sometimes
trying
there
to
can
move
be.
to you.
He wasn't
Come
trying to move to
on.
me. I also feel like sometimes, and not necessarily saying the people in this room, but I do think there is sometimes can be a bit of a racial element where sometimes it's like if you see a white girl carrying LV, no one's going to like. How many white girls have those LV like?
I
tote
be
bags?
thinking that shit is fake.
Okay, no one is talking about you.
Even when the man buys it for them, I still think it's
Did
fake.
I not just make this point where I said, aside from the people of this room, my own point is just more so like sometimes I do think that like this whole concept, sometimes I get your point, but sometimes it might be more detrimental when it's like, most people there are people wearing fake stuff, but I just don't know out there that, most of the people that are wearing designer, because sometimes it might not be. The Van Cleef, I feel like a lot of people do say that they buy fakes. Like a lot of people say that. Because even I think
But that still looks
that one is,
good.
That's one
Yeah.
thing that everybody was wearing.
As the president of the fake, because
no way.
how expensive Van Cleef is just not correlating with
how many people have it? 100%.
Jewelers makes
100%.
fake. Anyway, guys, to wrap it up, that's the only fake thing I've ever bought in my life. I'm just saying.
This month.
Nah. Ever in my, I'm very against buying fakes. I'm not gonna lie. So even this, I walked around the market like 3 times, and I was like, fuck it, let me just buy it. I tried to find something else. I tried to find Adidas. I tried to find Reebok.
Like the big something is crazy. No, that's so real. That's so real. Okay, who wants to go next?
I thought of one while we were talking. It was based on something I watched yesterday.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think that if you're in the pursuit of someone and...
Sorry, is this a question or a hot take?
It can be in a question. It can be a bit combination.
It's like a hot take question.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Interesting. Okay.
like if, for example, like you fancy someone and the person comes out with a person that they're dating, does that make them more or less attractive to you?
Are you talking about off campus?
Yes.
Okay, if you fancy someone, like I like this guy individually, and then he has a girlfriend, does that make him more...
It's like, okay, so let me explain the trope. It's like the trope of someone saying, I'm going to date you to make the other
Basically,
person
wanting
jealous.
what you can't
Oh,
have.
no.
Oh, so he's
actually
wanting
Is
something
he actually
you can't
actively...
have.
Wait.
Basically.
Is the person actively trying to make
No,
you
they're
jealous?
not trying. Wait, what? As in...
What end are you
Forget
talking
about
about?
what the other person is doing. It's what you, like, as a person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, if there's something you can't have, do you want it more?
Yeah,
That's the
essentially.
basic.
I think it can be a yes or no. I think it depends on the situation. I think in a romantic situation, like, okay, if I like this guy, and then assuming like, okay, I'm guessing the person likes me back, it's like, is a mutual like?
You're not sure.
No, you don't know.
I don't know.
So the point
like
of
there's
bringing in
qualification,
another
right?
person is to make that person notice you, essentially.
Yeah.
So has what's the relationship with this other person that
As in, they haven't yarned in that way, right? So let's say right, like to you, she was just some random person, right? And then like you didn't really notice her, but like it was clear that she kind of has a crush on you, right?
Okay.
I mean, but you weren't really paying attention. But other people can see it's clear.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you weren't really noticing her. Maybe you spoke every now and then, and it's fine. All of a sudden, she now gets with some other guy who is like
popular,
like
really
popular, similar, like popular to you, like similar to you, but like let's say a step above you, right? Just a step
nobody
above
is a
you.
step
Okay, so
above
wait.
you.
Oh my god!
Wait. So
Sorry,
is it that okay? I'm not noticing this person. This person likes me. I'm not noticing this person, but like I kind of know that they have a crush. And then then
You
it's
may
like,
know, you may not, like you didn't really send. You're just
is
like,
this the same thing as like how that Euphoria with the Sydney Sweeney and that guy?
No.
I get it. Penny, let me explain it. You like
no.
just
No,
imagine.
someone explain it like me and them.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay,
Imagine
please.
you like Josh.
Okay.
Right? and you have like an inkling that, oh, maybe Josh might like me. But like you guys haven't really like established anything. Right. And then Josh walks in with Ariel. And then you see Josh and Ariel. And imagine, according to Josh's scenario, Ariel is one step above you. Like,
Let me change one step. Let me change that.
I think the one step is
that's
not
not
relevant
relevant
because
to
I
this
feel like
I want to say
that
that. Would me walking in with Josh make you like Josh more?
But the thing
Oh,
is,
I don't
Ariel,
think so.
Ariel, that is extremely relevant. Do you know why? Because if
it makes a difference.
If she was with a guy that was 3 steps below
Okay,
him,
then it's
she'd
a
be like, look at his baby, look at the guy.
You will literally laugh.
I don't want
then
that.
it's a self-confidence issue because
No,
I'm
no,
so
but
sorry.
what's your
I don't
answer,
think me.
Yes.
So okay, I'm going to rephrase the question. So because I don't.
How can you
the
rephrase somebody's
reason-
question?
No,
Wait,
not
sorry, hang
rephrase
on.
it.
Ariel, what's
No,
exactly
the thing
your
is,
take
the
here?
thing is that it's important in the context of the show.
Yeah.
But my
in
illustration
life.
Yeah.
is not necessarily. It's more like if what you said at the beginning does not having one make you want to
Makes you want to
kind
know.
of, but
Absolutely.
that has not much to do with
It
the level.
absolutely does.
Does it?
It's the same way how like
I think it makes a difference.
Then it's a confidence issue.
No,
But Josh,
Yeah,
I
but
think,
okay,
no, no,
okay.
no.
Confidence I'm really talking
That's what I'm
about.
saying.
It does
It's
make a
the same
difference.
way how,
Okay,
right? Like,
okay.
if let's say you had an ex, right? Let's say you having a relationship, whatever, like you break up, and then you see the person who's with after you, and she's butters. Do you feel worse or better about the breakup?
I can't lie. I feel worse about the breakup because how dare you date me and then date someone uglier? No. I understand that.
But-
No. That even makes me angry.
If you break up with
That's the
me,
point.
you better date an ugly nigga.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because this is not ugly girl.
No, but that's
I
that is what I'm saying,
Okay.
right? Like
But
the
then I think there's a
person,
difference.
the
I think there's a
person is
difference
with
between.
matters.
I think
There's a
no.
difference between
I think
something happening and
wait.
you reflect.
No, wait. I want to
Okay,
say.
let me give you a scenario.
I understand the scenario. It's not a scenario thing. I think for me, like, I think you're both saying different things. I think Ariel's point is more so like, does seeing someone that you kind of were not interested in make them or someone that maybe you didn't really
does it
think
change
make them more
your eye?
desirable.
Yeah, it's
Your
more
own
their
point-
availability than who they're with.
Exactly.
That's what.
But
That's the point I'm
Josh's
trying to
point
make
is
to
more
you.
so, and I think that may be more. I don't want to say gender, but like that may be more of a boy
Because
it's
thing.
not-
It could be
it
more
could
of
be.
because I personally like. I
I'm
think
not thinking about the
I
level
have
of the
definitely,
person.
I have definitely broken up with someone and they have dated someone. The person was like ugly, respectfully, or uglier, respectfully, and it made me mad because it's kind of like, how can you put me and put them in the same category?
But that's what I'm saying.
But then
like,
I don't
it
think.
will
But if
impact.
they dated someone that I thought was a baddie, I won't be like, oh my gosh, she's better than me. I will never think someone is
No,
better than me.
when
I'll be
I
like,
say-
oh, good on you.
Again-
You have a standard.
No, but-
Baddies.
no, see, my point here is that who they are with
Yeah.
impacts how you feel.
But then you
That's my
said something
point.
about like if it's higher. I think
No,
that's
no,
where.
see, that was in the context of
Okay,
that specific
okay.
situation. And
Okay.
when I meant that high, like, okay, so let's
But it doesn't
actually-
make them more desirable. Maybe the feeling in terms of anger or whatever, sure. But I don't think him dating somebody else makes him more desirable. That's
It's a known thing where people are like, okay, all of a sudden men aren't married, and when they become married, like girls just
I
come
mean,
up from.
well, the question is us,
the
right? The
wo-
question is
woodworks.
us. I mean, the
Those come everywhere.
conversation is us. It's not general, right? It's more so.
It was general.
Yeah.
It's more of wanting what you can't have situation.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's where my point originates from, which is why I say that their standard of who they are, pretty, ugly, whatever, doesn't really matter in the context of my question.
Yeah.
Because it's more availability and wanting what you can
It
have.
Desirable,
does because
desirability.
if there's someone that's
If
less
that,
than
depending
you,
on who you are and your self-confidence and self-worth
Yeah.
things, then
Fair.
that can come into place in your thought process. So like,
I don't know.
For
I
example,
think
Josh.
So
if you
sorry,
have to
let me
answer-
just add this. The
Yes,
reason
go,
why I'm
go,
saying
go.
it does, Ariel, is because the whole idea of desirability, right, is like from what you just said, like what you can't have. If to me you're being with someone I think is less than me, then I can't have you. So
Fair.
so that's
I
why I'm
that's
saying
get
fair.
what you're
That's
saying.
fair.
that's why each person matters.
Okay.
That's why it matters.
So I
No,
think-
but you
I don't
thinking
know.
you can have the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is a
And again,
situation where
to be
it's
clear,
okay.
that's not how I think. To be clear, I'm just explaining the
No,
logic.
my point is,
That's
my
the
point
logic.
is that in the context of it starting from the beginning, it's a crush that you haven't like reached out to.
Yeah.
So you can't,
Yeah.
in your specific reality,
Yeah.
you can't have the person, whether your confidence is astronomical and you feel like
Yeah.
you can, quote unquote. In the context of what is happening now, you have a crush and you haven't confessed into the crush.
To
You
answer
can't
the
have
question,
I think Ariel's
let's be
Ariel's
so
scenario is
much.
different because like
if I'm speaking too much, is that what you're talking about?
if I haven't established anything with you, I don't care who you walk in with.
Yeah.
Like I will not care. It won't change anything.
Same.
I won't want you more or less.
Yeah.
But if you're like an ex or like someone I'm with, then different story. But
Thank you.
Then I might be like, what the like? If I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to babe, and she walks in with who the girl's like. somebody that's actually anyway works.
Okay, like a celebrity.
Yeah, I might be like,
Okay.
and he's holding her waist. I might be like, yo.
Yeah, that's the concept.
Okay.
You better
Basic
not move your
celebrity.
hand. But if I
Okay,
haven't
okay.
established
Like-
anything with you, I'll
But if
be.
you haven't
I'll be.
established
I think-
anything with, but you desire the person.
For me,
like you
I will
want
see
to.
that as a challenge to say I took this famous guy's babe.
No,
That's what I'm
mind you,
thinking in my head.
prior
That
to
was my
this-
that's
that's
I think
crazy.
that might be a
Mind
male
you, mind you,
thing.
prior to
Yeah,
this,
that was my question. And
prior to
that
this situation,
I'll be
she'd be
like,
trying
I'm
to
getting
yarn
this
you.
babe. Huh?
Mind you, prior to this situation, she'd been trying to yarn you.
That's
and
even
like
Yeah.
you're
more.
just
That's
like,
even
But
the
you
more
weren't-
I will act like
and then all of a
I
sudden
don't
you
notice.
see her with
with like a
like Davido or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Godspeed. You're probably catching something soon.
Terrible
Probably catch
example.
something
If that's
soon.
what
But
we did,
you get what I'm saying.
I'll
You know
pretend
what I'm
like
yeah.
I'll pretend like I can't see them.
The reason I even ask is because of Tobi's answer kind of
Yeah.
answered my question.
Yeah.
Because like for me, when I see, I would lose interest completely
Thank
when
you.
I see.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm the
competing.
same.
I don't,
Exactly. I'm the same.
I don't
I'm
do
the
stuff
same.
like that.
It's
But
not
the fact that you
competition.
said
But
that
it's
would
not
make you feel like
competition.
you
No,
can
no, no, wait.
better them and like get with because they were with someone at the top. You're like, oh, I can actually do better. That is a
I
different
definitely
thought
think it might
process.
be a gender thing because I feel like, I mean, maybe I'm not saying that there's girls that are not like that. Wait. Because for me, like, and I'm exactly on the same point. I was with you until you said the whole thing about, the working with the celebrity and you want to get the celebrity girl. Because for me, like, exactly like what you said, Tobi, like, if I'm not interested in somebody, in fact, they can date all the girls in the world. They can date whoever they want. That's not my business. That's between you and God. Like, that has nothing to do with me. But if the person is an ex, right, I think the only time I've definitely dated someone and then he dated an influencer after. I wasn't like, oh my God, I have to go. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And I've also definitely dated somebody who was dating a celebrity, an A-list celebrity in England. So it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh, for me, it's like, oh, I have to like get you back and be like, oh, me and this person had
Yeah,
the same
but
man.
this is an ex, though. I'm talking about someone you desire in the moment.
The thing is not you desire them. You're not noticing them. They desire you. So it's them being with somebody. And I said the same point where it's like the exes make the difference. But even at that, I don't think if there's somebody that, I don't know, maybe higher social like I would say in the social way, like higher social standing.
Yeah, that's what I meant
Because I don't
by
necessarily
yeah.
think like there's anyone I would see that I'm like, oh, you
Yeah.
look better than me. I feel
Same.
like
That's how I think as well.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, if they have a higher social standing, for me, I don't have the desire to be like, oh, I want to get you. But if I do think if somebody like that, I don't think looks that nice, I'm kind of like, bro, what the
So
hell?
for me, I wouldn't think I want to get you if you're an ex. If you're an ex, that's done. Like I don't care. I might feel a way. I might be like, oh fuck this. Like, but if you're someone I desire, like oh, like we've spoken, you've acted like you're interested in me, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, ugh, I can't wait till I tell people that I took this guy's babe.
It is well. It is well. Joshua, please, what is your hot take?
My hot take is there should be more rom-coms, like good 2010,
my God.
2010,
Rom-coms
mid-2010
are
style
failing.
rom-coms.
They are
yes.
failing. And it's so
'Cause
sad.
This is actually coming off the
did
back
I
of
say when we were
Off
talking about
Campus.
this
I
earlier?
actually really enjoyed Off Campus. It really took me, like, have you watched it?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
I was telling her
No.
about it for it.
Like,
Yeah.
it was actually very,
was
very
good.
I really
Okay.
enjoyed that.
I've
We
seen
need
nothing
more
but good
rom-coms
reviews,
like
so
that.
I'm not really a rom-com girl, but it's so interesting because when you know the younger, like, oh, I have to get a guy in 10 days. They were cheesy, but they were still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like rom-coms in
Yeah,
the
they're
olden
great for the
days,
time.
they were like cheesy, like okay,
That's
you
the
know,
olden days. Like, bro, 2010.
I know, right?
2014,
Okay,
like,
in the early 2000s, like 2008.
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
early
mid-2000s,
Yeah, I feel like those ones, like even when I sometimes even now if I want to feel it, want to watch a rom-com, I'll
Yeah.
go back to the old ones because even though you can literally write the plot, you know exactly what's coming. It's still like
Yeah.
interesting. Whereas now they're just so like my body is just like it's
Yeah.
just too overplayed. And not overplayed in terms of like the rom-comness, but it's just like there's nothing. I don't even know what to explain. It's kind of the same thing with Hailey.
To be honest with you, I haven't even really seen like.
Have you watched
rom-coms like that.
Materialist?
My what?
Materialist, I almost walked out of the cinema.
I was literally talking about it. Yeah,
Me,
we
Penny,
made a
Sorry.
very
and
bad
my friend
mistake.
isn't
That wasn't a rom-com though.
It was a rom-com.
It wasn't. It was
Not
a
in the
mix of things,
traditional
but it
sense.
had rom-com in it. It was
Yes,
supposed
it wasn't a rom-com. For me, what I define as rom-com is like you're purely rom-com.
Yeah,
So-
that was
Which
like
That
is,
wasn't
it's
a
about
rom-com.
girl
It
trying
was
to
a
meet
drama.
boy, no?
No, it was
Was
more.
it not like
it
she's
was
trying to meet-
dramedy.
It was
Okay.
yeah, it was a
Was
drama.
So then let's even talk about the newest one, the
Halle Bailey.
Thank you.
Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey. Hailey Bieber. All
I
of them
love that
conjoined.
so much. You, me, and Tuscany.
Yeah. No, it was a
Penny
no
was
for
not
me,
like
dog.
that.
It was a no for me, dog. It was a no for me. Like in terms
I've
of like
watched it.
in terms of like the actual, it was a true rom-com in terms of like the way things displayed, like unrealistic, da 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 da. But I think rom-coms now are just more cringy. I don't know what it was, where it's like,
It was cringe though.
it was
Wait,
cringy.
hang on.
But I
You
think
know-
cringe is
know-
like a part of rom-coms. Like
You know, you can have
core.
romance with comedy, and it's not a rom-com.
Yeah, but that particular film is a rom-com.
Was it actual
We're
rom-com?
getting way too
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
into this shit.
Just checking.
How
Just
can you
checking.
you have romance and comedy?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
rom
and
And the
and
same
com.
way you can have
Rom plus com.
in the same way, in the same
can
way
have romance or
you can have
comedy
comedy
in a
and
film.
action.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't mean
true,
it's an
true,
action
true,
Okay,
comedy.
yeah,
true,
yeah,
true. It
fair.
just makes it action.
Fair enough,
right?
fair enough.
Exactly.
True, you can
But
have
they have
comedy and
elements of
everything.
genres and different things, and doesn't
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one was definitely. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think we definitely need to go back to our roots.
No, for
I think
sure.
When it
so.
comes to
When we were
rom-coms.
having this conversation earlier, it's because I feel like there are not enough comedic writers
Thank
in
you.
the room. In the
Even
writers'
comedy,
room.
even sitcoms.
So I
there's
feel
no
like
good
because
sitcoms
2000s
Yeah, sitcoms
comedy,
not
They
really
were
a thing.
funny.
they were written by people that are actual comedians.
Yeah, they were funny.
Whereas these are just written by people that like think they can write comedy
Yeah.
and like they think of something funny and like write it down. And sometimes what you think, and even like to put a slight tangent, like even when people like adapt books, even though the book is funny and they word for word write that, when someone says it might not be delivered the same way someone
we've
will
had
read
a
it.
slew of terrible book adaptations, especially within
Yeah.
like romance, like rom-com.
You and me after you plus after me.
What's
You
that? Is
plus.
that you talking
Oh,
about you?
Those
no,
ones-
no, you. The
After we collide, before we collided, after we collided.
Those ones,
before
I'm
the
not even
after.
convinced the book is good. So.
Bro, no. But like,
The
it's
Walter
one of those
Boys,
things. I think as
Summer
well.
Got Pretty, like the whole. Those are book adaptations. No?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
some
as
are
well,
people
like there's a lot of pop culture that is trying to be integrated. For example, even with the You, Me, and Tuscany, there was that whole concept of like, oh, my edges, and then those girls in the bush like, girl, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I feel like people do too much now trying to like, and this is like,
That's
what
always been a thing. Though.
You said what?
Even in the 2000s, you had that going on.
No,
I
I'm not
think
saying
it
that you didn't have that going on.
intentionally
Let's call it
over-exaggerated.
it was very exaggerated.
What
Sure,
was
when it was
over-exaggerated?
so they were about to kiss and the sprinklers came on, and she was like,
stereotypes.
"Oh my god, my edges, babe, you have dreads. Who cares about edges?
Yeah,
you
but
have
she
dreads."
still do
Sorry, that
edges.
was
No.
Edges
It
when you
was
have
so-
dreads? You
No,
do
but like you
edges.
don't.
But why
you
is
know,
that
edges-
issue her saying that?
No, it's just when they're trying too hard to integrate pop culture into the thing. It's like, you know how people are like, the
yeah.
white people, if it was a white movie, be like, oh my God, my hair. But she has dreads, so she can't say, oh my God, my hair. I'm so sorry, if I have braids, even if it's pouring, I'm not thinking about my hair. Like, if I have like braids or dreads, if I have my, like this hair, or if I have like a bust down, whatever, because I know it's going to like revert to curly or whatever, that one is different. But like, when you're trying to integrate it in a way that doesn't integrate, you've gotten a girl with dreads and your hair saying like,
Okay,
oh
so
my
what's
God, my
what's
edges.
the what's the
I feel like that's...
what's the replacement in that
you
moment?
just don't like the film.
Let's not. Guys,
What's the-
there's no need. No, there was no need for that integration. It's like you're trying to take a traditional rom-com and make it pop culture. But like,
I understand what you mean, but like with dreads, for example, like dreads, especially if you haven't retwisted in a while. So I feel like edges actually do matter.
No, because your edges
And
are
her
what you when you
dreads- her
put
dreads were a
roots.
bit-
She didn't even have edges. Her edges are not even
I don't
slick.
remember. Sha.
But it's also like, you know, baby hair and edges are not the
But
same.
I
Edges when you
think
take edge
fundamentally
control.
you don't like the film.
I
So
don't.
think
But then let's also
easy.
talk. Do you guys remember the Gabriella Union and that was it Morris Chestnut? That movie, that old thingy is like, oh, and if a guy does this, it was
Think
kind
Like
of
a
like.
Man?
I wasn't Think Like a Man, but even that one was.
I
I don't know
Even Think Like a Man was
Gabriella
funny.
Think Like a
There was
Man.
one with
Rom-com.
Gabriella Union. Oh no, sorry, I'm being racist.
Gabrielle, not
Gabrielle,
Gabriella.
yeah.
I've been leaving you,
God.
but like,
what
it
you
doesn't
doing
have
now?
an A.
It's not okay. It was that babe. She's black.
Oh wow! Oh my god!
Okay,
That really helps.
I don't remember the name.
We
but
know who she is
it's
now.
basically like
her.
it's basically trying to be like I don't know if it's two can play that game. So I think it's two can play that game. Where it's kind of like she's trying to teach the girls, oh, this is how you handle men, but he's also trying to teach the boys, this is how you deal with women. So she's kind of like, if he calls it, you probably would know it if I show you the thing, but it's really old. It's like, oh, if he calls you 2 times, you don't pick up, and if he picks up, it's like it's one of those kind of movies.
Okay,
but
those type of
those kind of, but it was so, it's still so funny because when you watch it, even though like it's one of those things where it's like you know what's happening automatically. Of course, all of that's going to go out the window. They're going to fall in love. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a hiccup. But like I think with like heavy on what you said about like a lot of writers are not comedians anymore, because I think in the modern day the only funny rom-coms I've watched that I've actually like enjoyed are ones that have comedians in it, and mostly because they're also the writers.
Yeah.
So what's her name? Is it Ali Wong? What's her name?
Ali Wong is she? Yeah.
The
Aquafina.
I don't know what you're talking about. But anyways,
That's
and
what-
What was the, so the, what
oh,
are you
Kevin
talking
Hart,
about?
or when Kevin Hart is in something. I don't know when Kevin Hart.
Whoa.
Wait.
You're saying Kevin Hart can write?
No, I'm not saying he can write, but I always feel like you know
His line delivery is much better than lots of people's
one
line
and two. Usually when they're comedians in a thing, they have they have agency to like say, oh, I think if you do it this way,
Yeah.
like play it that way, it'll be funnier.
Are we speaking broadly or still within just rom-coms?
I was talking about rom-coms, not broadly, not
Don't
comedy.
mention Kevin Hart. I beg of you.
I love Kevin Hart. He's so funny.
For rom-coms?
Well, I don't know if he did a rom-com, but he
He
did that
was
one
on
with
Think Like a
the
Man,
one
Think
with
Like a Man
oh,
too,
Think Like
and
a
he was
Man.
funny in
He was
that,
funny.
no?
He was funny.
He was very funny.
He was a comedic elements in a rom-com, that doesn't make him a good rom-com writer.
Not saying nobody said writer. I said that when you're
How
in a
is it
rom
that
com,
when you
they have
because
when
he
you have
does stand
comedians.
up, he can do stand up comedy. His
Yeah.
delivery is funny.
Not in a rom-com though.
But my
not
point
as
is
the
when they
main
are in,
whatever.
no, I'm not saying that he's the main person that is falling in love.
Okay,
but when
fair.
you have comedians in a rom com, sometimes they
It
can tell you
elevates it.
exactly.
Fair enough.
But
I hear
anyways,
it.
let's go into today's topic. Actually,
So
today
love
is
basketball is trash.
Damn, what's the topic today?
today is what?
Huh?
What did you say?
What?
Something about basketball being trash.
I said love and basketball is trash. That's my second.
I don't remember that one. I actually don't
I need
remember.
to
You don't remember Love and Basketball?
Apparently, it's like a horror movie.
That was I did not think that was trash.
Facts.
Okay, let's go into
Black love,
today's
black trauma.
conversation. Actually, going to be a very hot one, so I'm going to need you guys to
I'm
stay
scared.
with me. Lagos Me Too movement. Who was really held accountable?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
Huh.
I don't know.
no.
Same,
It's not-
same.
That's not the question. That's the
I'm not on
topic.
social media, so
No. You were on social media in
They hacked me
2016.
that since that year.
You
I've
were
been on
social media in 2016. So I'm gonna ask. Obviously, it's gonna be like questions and then conversation, right?
Cool.
So, do you guys think that people genuinely forgot these situations over time, or they consciously moved on for their own convenience?
both. It's just like anything else that's online, right? Like,
Yeah.
there was a hype around it. Everyone jumped on it. A lot of people that jump on it don't really care unless it happens to them or somebody that's close enough to them, and they jump back off.
But that's interesting because I think there are a lot of people that jumped on it because they jumped on it because it happened to them and someone that they were close to. But it's kind of like, and I guess it also takes me to like a double part of a question where it's also like, do you feel like sometimes in Lagos people hold their social standings to a higher like level than accountability?
I mean, that's worldwide, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, but we're not talking about worldwide. We're talking about within this situation that happened.
yeah, like,
Yeah, of course.
absolutely.
Defo. I don't know. I feel like when something's on social media, just don't take it serious. In my opinion, right? Like everyone, because like I get it. Like a lot of people jumped on it for that reason, but like a lot of people built more and more hype around it. And like how much do those people care for actually what's going on, and how much do they just want drama? And they just want the drama to keep going on.
That's
And
fair.
then the other side of it is a lot of people that would have been called out in those like scenarios or whatever, they would have gone low key, and then like everybody just kind of and they live their life more low key.
But then that's the thing. I
I feel
don't
like a lot of
necessarily
people
know.
live more low key. A lot of people whose things I saw, they live more low key. Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of names I mentioned, they were out there. It was always like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy everyone
Yeah.
knows, and that guy
Yeah.
that everyone knows.
That guy had like 5 names.
Yeah, it's true. And
Yeah.
and now you don't see them anywhere.
I don't believe that.
There was
because
like a whole group of like popular people.
I don't-
around
yeah,
us.
but I don't
what extent is
necessarily
that
Where
because
are
we're
they?
not in that, like, in those spaces
Do you know-
anymore?
do you know-
Maybe because I'm
No,
not
no, no.
online and I
That's
don't
what
link
I'm
up
saying.
with
It's not
people.
even
If
about
I don't
online.
know
Like, they're
them.
not like
I was
on the
seeing,
ground
even
anymore.
at the DJ tunes,
Yeah.
I'm seeing someone that had like 12 names, 15 names,
12.
12 or whatever. The one that had the highest amount of
Jail.
whatever. You're still, and even like there was a wedding that happened in Lagos. Was it last December? I think it was last December. And the person was a groomsman. And I guess it's one of those things. Obviously, like if somebody is your friend, but it's one of those things where it's like, at what point do people now hold their friends accountable? And
I mean,
it's.
I think it would be different for having this conversation like 10 years ago.
No, it's not. No, we're having the conversation now because even though it happened 10 years ago, it's one of those things where it's like people are still like it's not. It's one of those things that it happened. There was a buzz around it, and now it's like everyone has just moved on with their lives. But the people who are victims still have to carry that for the rest of their lives. So it doesn't necessarily matter if it's happening 10 years ago or it's happening
No, so
now.
sorry. What I meant by that is like whatever repercussions that they experience within their friendship groups behind closed doors, we don't know.
You
'Cause
don't know.
That was the word I was
and
looking
I agree, by the way.
Because especially pointing out like groomsmen thing, you
Yeah,
don't
like, it
know
was 10 years
what
Yo.
has been
Sorted out.
Yes, and the thing is
concluded.
like a lot of people
So
think
it's
like
difficult to pass judgment or pass any commentary on it because like at the end of the day, I don't really know
You don't know.
what
That's fair.
was
I don't know
the
Yeah.
what
solution.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. Sorry, Tobi, you were
I think the
gonna say
perspective you're looking at from is like, why are they still friends?
Yeah.
But like, if you're my friend, to a certain extent, to a certain degree,
Oh boy.
no, to a certain extent, to a certain degree, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but but like you're my friend for life, right? And
For life.
yeah, you're my
If
friend.
they slept with your
You're my
wife,
friend
will
for
they
life.
still-
And
will they
like,
still be
wait,
your friend
hold
for
on,
life?
let me land. I know this sounds crazy.
Explain your degree.
Like, if you do some fucked up shit, again, within reason, right? I'm saying everything's within reason. If you do some fucked up shit, like, I'm gonna call you out on it. And I might distance myself from you, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna say, yo, I hope you're good. At the end of
Okay.
the day, right?
Interesting.
And that's what I mean when I say, like, I will be checking up on you probably for life, right? Because, like, yo, unless
If they sleep with your wife, you still check
again,
on
like
them.
that's what I'm saying. I was literally about to say, unless you do something
That's
to me directly, where it's not just like, oh, I can just say, oh, like this is fucked, and beat you up.
What
Yeah,
did
of
you
course.
just say?
Everything
To
is
you
from
directly.
everything is from a
Yeah.
selfish point of view.
Yeah.
People in life like to act like they're not selfish. From a selfish point of view, of course. Yeah, I'm a little bit selfish. Yeah,
But
Everyone
like,
is, to be
no,
honest,
of
everyone
course,
is.
and I mean, I think I appreciate you saying it like that because I think that's the truth of the matter. But I think where it becomes a bit difficult is like even whenever like people say, "Oh, what if it was your sister?" Like I hate that we have to say, "What if it was your sister?"
like, why does-
Yo,
What if it was
you already
why does
know
have
if
to
it was
be
my
a-
sister,
No,
it's
of
different.
course, no, exactly.
but that's
my
Peniel's point. Why does it have to be in your immediate
It has
obvious
exactly.
way?
But I mean-
And no way. And I'm not saying that like obviously like
Yeah,
your
of
point being
course,
like
yeah.
naturally like even me, I was having a conversation with my roommate the other day, and I think we're talking about like completely off tangent, but we're talking about people that cheat basically, and she was kind of like, oh, like if someone, this is like I said, it's completely off tangent, but she was saying that like, I'm going to tie it back to what I was saying.
And I have another
but she
scenario
was
to
saying
back
that like
it.
she was basically saying that like, oh, why is it that if somebody sleeps with somebody, like you have a friend that is going to go and sleep with someone's boyfriend, you're kind of like, okay, it's easy for you to be like, oh, I forgive you that you slept with someone's boyfriend, but they come and sleep with your own boyfriend is different. So it's kind of like, why do we tend to draw the line where it's like something that actually affects us? Or if, okay, they sleep with someone's boyfriend that you don't know, but they go and sleep with Ariel's boyfriend. I will most likely beef them because they're sleeping with someone that I'm close to's boyfriend.
Because you're
But-
human.
No. That's no,
Yeah.
guys. I started a point. Let me land my point.
We thought you had landed.
No, I don't
Sorry.
like my point because my point was, and
Yeah.
we highlighted how obviously even no matter how you twist it, unfortunately we live in a world where like when something is directly at you, you do tend to like take EP. But I think at what point do we now decide that okay, you know what? Even though like this thing was not directed at me, something very fucked up happened. And this is not like I'm not saying that right now let's all go and carry pitchforks and go and find these guys or whatever. But my point is like I think in this kind of situations, this is one of those situations where I feel like we can't just chuck our hands in the air and be like,
You can.
Oh,
Shall I tell you why you can? Peniel, God forbid, right? God forbid your child did something like that. Are you going to tell them they're not your child anymore? No, you're not. Life is from a selfish perspective. When a bomb goes off in Paris, right, you care less about it than if a bomb goes off in London in your house right beside you. Everything is it's true. Why don't you care about them the same?
And I think fundamentally,
If one more scenario,
Yeah.
if you see something and you're watching something on TV and it happens to like a white kid, right? You might be like, oh, this is sad. But if you see it happen to a black kid,
feel it more.
you feel it more. Everything from a selfish perspective. God forbid it was your brother or your son or something. You will never be like, oh, where do we draw the line where we have to cut these people off?
No, I agree, but
And
I
for a
think
lot
that's
of
part of the
friendships,
problem,
like you
though.
get to a level where you are basically family with your friends. So it's a lot harder to just be like, oh, this guy did some fucked up shit, bye. Like, no, of course, like you pull them up, you talk to them, but like how things go after that is gonna be completely like there's no like predictable one way or like I'm not speaking to the person anymore. I'm just some people can, yeah. I think it's cold as fuck, but it's not that easy.
and I think realistically, like as time goes on, as we evolve as humans, we need to find different ways to adapt to different scenarios. Like this is a strange example, but like say back in the day when maybe social media or phones or let's leave phones, social media didn't exist. You would probably like meet with your friends outside more often. Now the social media, you can kind of see what everyone is doing, so
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
necessarily really need to reach out
Yeah.
to be close to them. But that's just like it's not as if people lost caring that they're not seeing their friends, just that there are different ways to adapt to
What's
the
happening.
digital age that
Yeah.
we're moving in. So I think nowadays there's so many horrible things happening all around the world. If you sat there and tried to carry everyone's cross,
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
but
go
I
insane.
don't necessarily think it's about. I'm even talking from a personal perspective. I don't necessarily think it's about carrying people's crosses. But unfortunately for me, I do feel like if I had a male friend that he like 10 girls, even in fact, one girl came forward and was like, this person raped her or sexually assaulted her. That's done. Like I mean, I would obviously like if that person is my really close friend.
Yeah, but
I'll talk to them.
where was your female friend that did it?
It's done. Well, it's done too. It's
Yeah, why
done.
do you
No.
guys- well?
No, I said well because I'm trying to think of like how that's in a more so like
It's less
rape,
likely.
Like
but
they drug them.
It's less likely.
It's less likely, but it does happen, right?
Like if your female friend comes to you and she's like, haha, Benyo, you never guess what happened. Imagine that 6 guys in my room will say no. And I was just like, bro, you better take it out. And he took it out.
I
Would
would
you be
no.
like-
I would also because that's even more sick.
Danielle?
No, I'm not joking. It's a stigma. So maybe like I don't. Unfortunately, maybe because I'm also a girl and I feel like I feel these things a lot more because it's one of
Anyway,
those
that
things. Where,
scenario was a little bit like out there. Of course, like yeah, I hear what you're saying.
No,
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, but it happens.
You
And I
would
think for
be
me, like,
surprised.
I think for me, if I even hear like, oh, a woman raped a man, for me, like, you had a lot of determination to do that because a man as if the guy is even like taller than you or stronger than you, because you must have done some really crazy stuff to even be able to get him to a point where you can take advantage of him. And for me, is like, you were actually weird.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just happened the opposite way a lot more because like of what we said about the power dynamic and the strength dynamic,
Yeah.
whereas like there's a lot more ability to pin somebody down from like a man to woman ratio than a woman to man ratio.
Trigger
right?
warning. Can we stop talking about rape?
Trigger warning. We can't stop talking about it. It's important.
The only thing I'm gonna say is this, right? Like, what I think makes the biggest difference is this, okay? Like, is one thing for you to check your friend and be friends and not give a fuck about the girl, right? You need to give a fuck about the person that the other person has hurt. So, like, God forbid my friend was to do something like that, I would definitely reach out to the girl and say, listen, like, this is I hope that you're okay. Right? I wouldn't only just talk to my friend and be friends with them. I'll make sure that both sides are okay. I think that's where the difference comes in, right? You can look at it from a selfish perspective, but you also have to accept that there's somebody else in the scenario and actually care about that person as well. But
I think it depends on if that person wants to even.
I was just going to say that. I think you're
fine.
thinking about this from an ideal point of view. The reality is probably that girl would not want to speak to you because it's your friend.
Which is fine, but at least she knows that, like, well, not she knows. It doesn't do anything for her whether she knows or not. But like,
I feel like
from a human perspective, if I'm going to say like you have a friend for life, like it can't come across as like, oh, that means that whatever you do and whoever you harm, it doesn't matter. And there's only a limit. If I say you're my friend the first time and the second time do it again, we're going to have to discuss that friendship because there's no way that is running.
But what if they did it 5 times when you found out? By the time they found out the first time was not the actual first time. There are 5 allegations.
That's such a hard question because like I imagine my group of friends and I think it would be so hard for me to even like comprehend.
And as much as you think it's hard, there are a lot of guys that and it's very interesting because I do have a friend I have this one friend, he will post today, fuck rapists, fuck abusers, fuck everything. And I'm looking at his circle and I'm like, this one guy abused my friend. Like this one guy that you're doing arm in arm with, sexually, like he literally walked up to my friend and grabbed her breast in public. Are you wearing this? He puts his hand inside her vest.
Sorry, that's not funny, but what the fuck?
Like, do you understand?
What?
Your friend is there on social media and saying,
sorry, as in randomly.
Like we were in a
someone he doesn't know.
He does not know her from anywhere.
And what was the end goal?
The end goal was that I was ready to fight him.
No, but didn't think that should be like didn't think that should be like, oh, I like you now.
He said, but then he twisted the story to come and say that like, oh, we were in a party bus. His hand fell. She was really shot like this. His hand fell inside her vest and cropped the breast and fell right back out. Come on now. And that was the scenario that most people on the bus ran with.
She should have beat the hell out of him.
When it happened, he
didn't apologize. He went to go and tell people there that, he fell. And that was the story that everybody else there ran with. Oh, you know, the thing was falling like, that we're being dramatic, we're being problematic. That was falling.
Sorry.
She should, on the bus, she should have beat the hell out of him on the bus.
We were ready to be him.
What, he's taller than her?
She was sitting. It was a party, but she was sitting on someone's lap that she was talking to. So she was talking to this one guy. She was sitting on his lap.
Even when she was sat on the guy's lap.
Her face was talking to him like this. And this guy, I think he's noticing that she's not looking. So he's like trying to walk by. You know how like you're in a space, you're trying to walk by, and then just
like I'll just quick,
and then does it like that. And she literally turns around like, what? And it's so funny because I was looking at her when it happened because I was like, you know when your friend is like, talking to a guy, you're like, hey, like look at her, look at her.
So you watched
I saw it happen. Me and my other friend was like, we literally saw it happen because like I was looking at her like, look at you, and this guy put his hand and grabbed her, and I'm like, me and my friend literally were like, wait, what did we just like? Are we going crazy? Was everyone mad?
The guy just he walked by like
nothing happened.
But what's the gain from that? So that's the only thing that confused. There's no gain from it.
But then my thing is like, obviously that guy. Every single time I step out in New York, I step out in that Nigerian circle, that guy is there. He's still there doing owner of the section with niggas and all that kind of shit. And for me, it's so crazy because it's like as much as like, and this is my own issue when it comes to this kind of topics, right? I feel like when it's not personal to people and it's like you said, this is your guy, like you've been hanging out with this guy for a while. Like people did come out to say like, they've had some weird
crazy.
stuff.
That's crazy.
But you see, it's crazy because I'm describing it to you. Imagine people that don't really describe it, they just say that somebody abused them. They're not really describing the extent of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's easy to say that's crazy because I'm literally I'm using Ariel to describe the insanity of what happened.
I don't know what I would do if my friend did that.
You said what?
See, when you describe like, maybe the way I talk and the perspective I have is because I can't imagine my friends doing that, right? But I don't know. If I was in a bus and someone told my friend did that, I genuinely don't know what I would do.
Yeah. And
I think like the whole night is over.
It was over. We went home.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's so crazy when you think about it because then...
Sorry, the guy she was talking to who witnessed...
He was ready to fight the guy. Like him and my friend, because the friend I was beside was a guy. So two of them were ready to fight.
Even me, as well.
He saw... No, he didn't see it. Oh. They were talking. So it's like, she was turning... Like, she didn't like actually even see him coming. Because she was turned, talking like, this couch is the guy. So she's turned, talking to the guy. I'm her. This is the guy she's
The guy
talking to.
comes, like,
The
from
guy
behind.
comes like this space right here. This is what the table is. He walks here, literally sees that her face is turned, puts his hand through her shirt, her tight tank top, grabs the breast and removes his hand out.
And the guy that was
And the guy was still at every other event that whole weekend. Because they said, oh, the boss was shaking. He didn't mean to grab. The boss was shaking. There were so many excuses that were made. I go out every time in New York and I still see this shit.
Because
He said, well,
the thing is, if that happened and it was a mistake, like at the point I'd be like, oh my
What's-
gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Like,
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, like,
Yes,
I felt
even
like,
if she's
oh my
accusing
God,
you,
like,
you need to be like, I'm sorry.
Like, it was a
genuinely
mistake.
wasn't this.
It's
She
so...
just walked off like nothing happened.
No,
That's
nothing happened. And then
crazy.
until people started, once she got, obviously, she literally like, obviously she felt someone squeeze her. So she goes like this and looks at him and he's like, what the hell? And then literally like, me, I'm like, bro, what the hell? We all come and meet her. And then it's when everyone is like ready to fight. The guy's like, oh, the boss was shaking. They've concocted one BS story about how the boss was shaking. And
It doesn't even make sense. If the boss shaking, you can grab my head.
No,
grab
bro.
my shoulder.
No, but if you have a tight
It
top
happened.
on,
Yeah.
how the
Yeah.
hell does your hand get inside the top? If it's
Bro,
shaking,
a
bro.
tank top.
like, it's not like he brushed her with his elbow. Like,
Literally, come on now. It's literally because if it falls, you're probably
Kind
gonna
of
fall on her
bust-
lap.
Exactly.
You're not gonna fall inside the shirt, and you're not even. It's not even like you fell.
don't even need to
Your
fall.
hand literally like,
Yes.
come on now. And it's so interesting because it's one of those things where it's like, and even when the whole thing happened, and going back to the conversation about this, my friend, like I said, he's the one that would be posting, oh, F abusers, F this, F that. And when we told him the story, I heard later on, like I think last year, that one of my friends was telling him, like, I heard that you're still friends with that other guy. And he was like, what I heard that Penny and them were like doing a lot. That Penny and them were like, basically like, they were the ones that kind of started shit. Because obviously when that happened, we were ready to like scrap.
making stuff
Yeah. Basically trying to say like, what he had is like, didn't even happen like that. And I'm like, you see how easy it is? Because it's like, obviously this is my friend. I scolded him and like talked to him about it, but you weren't in the situation. So for you, they've concocted this story that like, okay, someone
just taking
fell.
it in,
You know
yeah.
how it is? And it's so easy to be like, someone fell, like, you guys are taking a pee, da. But I saw this with my two eyes.
Really sounds
And,
like
it's
you weren't
so
apologetic.
exactly,
like,
and it's
bro,
so interesting
so-
because it's like,
And if
it's
you're
so
not there, you
easy,
need to accept the possibility.
right? And I think that's what makes me like, with these kind of situations, because it's also one of those things where, like, okay, if that is your friend or your friend, you hear like someone come and vividly describe something, like, how do you like hold your friends accountable for these kind of situations? Like, how do you actually like if God forbid, okay, you've heard like one of your close friends, like Ariel went to a guy and put his hand inside his thing and grabbed his whatever.
That's something like
That is a lie. If anybody says Ariel did that,
That's
I'm
something-
standing
Of
on
course-
that is a
No,
No,
lie.
of course it's a lie, right? Of
Yo,
course it's a
she's
lie.
a degenerate.
But it's one of those things. Of course it's a lie, right? But it's one of those things where it's like, if like, you've heard these kind of things, like how do you hold your friends responsible? Like what is the next step of action for this kind of
Honestly,
situation?
I genuinely don't know.
Like, there's
I think like when you start going into details of the scenarios, I genuinely don't like. If like it's one thing to not have details or not know anything, and give someone like okay.
If I see it happen,
But
right? Like,
if I don't, if I
I'm
hear
like,
the
yeah,
details,
nah.
I genuinely don't know what my take will be.
But I think that's the part that is so like, and obviously like this is all like real conversation. So I do appreciate you guys just being like, I actually don't know. But I think that's
before
why,
you say that, what I said in the beginning, I take back slightly because when you start talking about like specific scenarios, I'm like, okay, like if I was there, if I watched
Yeah.
it,
If I
heard
saw
this,
that happen, I'm
I
like,
don't know what
bro,
I would
like-
do.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. So let me not say that.
and
actually.
I think that's the thing as well that's difficult because it's like, I think being a woman, like even, I'm one of those people that I like to say like, when it comes to like abuse culture and stuff within the Nigerian circle, I sometimes, and this is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to like land, I sometimes give grace if it's something that happened in secondary school, not rape or anything like that, but if it's like coercion, because there was a time where in secondary school, coercion was the culture.
we didn't know education on this
It
stuff.
was
We
exactly,
had no
coercion wasn't
education
a
on
thing.
this
So
stuff.
it's like,
Facts.
if, okay, they told me like, oh, when I was in year 9, this guy was telling me, guy, allow, and then you allowed, then it's kind of like, okay, maybe that person at that time, we thought that was normal, but have now seen, now
that
they're
is what
older.
is affecting us now
have
when
now,
we're older.
no, I don't think so.
Because people are only just I didn't know what coercion was until I was like 19.
That's fair.
I didn't I actually did not know that like, and I explained this to someone else who's older, like older generation, say like 38, 40, and I said to him, like, I was talking to him, we're talking about girls, and I said, like, if you take a girl and she's not trying to, and you convince her, like, I'm like, that counts as sexual assault,
Yeah.
right? And he was like, what? And that's what I'm saying, like, you see when people are getting to 20, and this stuff is coming up, it's because from young they didn't have that education to know. Listen, if someone's like, just allow it, and just leave it. And a lot of people didn't know that. For a lot of guys that come out and like flex about sleeping with girls, yeah, and maybe let me not say a lot, but for some guys that come, a lot of the time it's like, oh,
It's
she
not
wasn't
necessarily
on
consensual.
it.
Yeah.
She wasn't on it, and then you convinced her to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
on it. So, I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I interrupted your
No,
point.
Joshua, you're gonna say something. You were like disagreeing a little bit.
No. It's not that I was disagreeing.
It's there for
It's
education.
just,
We need education on
I
this shit.
absolutely agree.
Sex ed in
From
Nigeria.
young.
Do you know what? I agree.
But I
Like,
would
Not
say
sex
that,
ed
a
like
lot-
that.
a lot-
I'm not just when
real
it
sex
comes
ed.
to. I'm not just when it comes to. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that, like, yeah, I absolutely agree on the education point. And right, what I often find is that, like, having said that, right, it's incredibly important. I know some people can think of it as like semantics, but it's very important that like people then tag things accurately because that's what then leads to like a whole slew of issues. For example, like you could have someone talking about a legitimate problem where okay, there was like a sexual harassment, whatever, but let's say they call it assault, and now because they call it assault, like everybody's not saying, but it wasn't assault, and then it takes away from the point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 100%.
And that's why, like, as part of the education is understanding like what
facts.
exactly happened. Like, it's still not good, but let's call it what it is,
Facts.
so we can address it.
Facts.
And that education, because I think sometimes in certain societies, like sexual education or whatever, is mostly focused on women, what women should not be doing, or child, you do this, you do that, you're going to have a child, right?
Diseases,
all of those kind of
children,
things.
like-
I think we need to learn to like even talking to the young people now about like what no, it's not just about saying no means no. No definitely does mean no, but explain to them what that means.
Yes.
It doesn't
I
necessarily
don't
mean
know what a no looks like.
exactly what a no looks like and what
No,
no, 100%,
it's true, it's
100%. And it's so
Facts.
interesting because I remember a couple of months ago I was in
really
the
good in doing, by the way, in the TV show Off Campus.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Is it
Sponsorship
education?
for
Watch
campus.
off campus.
Sponsorship. So I remember a couple of
No, but
months.
like he did really good examples. I was actually quite impressed.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I remember a couple of months ago I went out to a club with my friend, my roommate, and then we were in the club and we were dancing, just me and her having fun. And then this one guy came behind me and like grabbed me and started trying to dance behind me. And I turned around, I was like, I don't want to dance with you. And then he was like, oh, do you have a man? I was like, no, but I don't want to dance with you. And I was like, and even if I had a man, would you have known? Because you didn't come and ask me. You just came behind me. And then he goes like, oh no, but that's how it is. I just come behind you. I'm like, no, you should have asked me for my consent. And as soon as I
Nah,
said
but
the word-
it doesn't always work like that.
Wait, I'm not saying it works like that, but I was not honest.
Yeah,
If I was
yeah.
honest, it's
If
different.
you said
I'm
nah.
not. Wait, Toby, I'm not saying. Hey, wait. Let me
No,
finish
no,
my
no,
thought.
I'll let you
I'm
finish.
not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that every guy that goes behind a girl is abusing them. That's not what I'm saying, or is whatever. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, I wasn't on it. And when I turned around and I said, oh, I'm not interested,
Yeah.
he was now trying to be like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And I said, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm just not interested. But even if I did have a boyfriend, like you wouldn't have known because you came behind me
Yeah,
to
true,
dance,
true,
right?
true.
And then, because if you're trying to say me having a boyfriend is the reason why you don't want to dance with me, then why did you come and ask me first? And then I said, and even at that, like I said to him, I don't give you my consent. But as soon as he heard the word consent, he said, consent, I beg. Like, I feel like there's so much, like, why is there so much negative connotation? Like,
Who
he
said consent?
like, as soon as he
He
heard
was
that,
like,
he said, I
let me
beg.
exit
Like,
the
let's
premises
just
right now.
He saw the
And it's-
tweet.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, the truth of the matter is like, I'm not saying that like, okay, if he had come back again to come and dance with it, it would have been a problem. But I'm not saying that like, okay, him doing that is kind of like, go and find that guy and hunt him down because he's a this and that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the truth of the matter is like me saying I didn't give you my consent. It's the truth. Like it's like I actually didn't give you my consent to that. I don't give you consent. Like I don't give you consent to dance with me.
Yeah.
But it's like once they heard that word, it's like and that's also because there's a lack of education
Yeah,
around
true,
these kind of
true,
things.
true,
I feel like if you explain it where it's like it's not necessarily like a negative connotation if someone says like, oh, like I don't consent. It's because
Yeah.
people think when they hear that word consent, if they hear
They
no,
think they're in
it's
trouble
kind of like,
already.
if they
Yeah,
hear
that's
consent,
why-
it's like, there's a difference between like no and consent. Because like no can kind of mean, no, for real. No can kind of mean like maybe you mean no. But when they hear the word consent, it's like trouble or no trouble. It's like, this is trouble.
maybe you
as in
know.
way
Yeah,
they
the way it
compute
comes about, it's like, I don't want to be called for anything.
I think there's a lot of like,
Yeah.
and this is a very, very blurred line. Like when it comes to things like you saying no means no, there's a lot of like blurred
No
lines
means
of
no.
like understanding human behavior and the way people are acting. But generally, though, I think now the way the world has gone, if someone says no, even if they look like they're joking or they're smiling or they're being,
Yeah.
or they're being
bro.
cute,
Free.
you gotta let them know they've ruined the moment.
Yeah. So this is going to be a two-part question. Do you feel like, not a two-part question, but it's going to have two scenarios. So do you guys feel like someone can genuinely be rehabilitated for, like their image can be rehabilitated or they can change their ways if like they were in a situation? It's different if it's like, okay, one scenario where they were unsure, but if you heard that somebody...
Serial.
Yeah, someone was a serial, like it's different. Because
serial
one scenario
what,
is like maybe abuser. It doesn't have to be like the R word, but it could be like a serial abuser, or it could be like you heard that somebody raped your friend.
How
or
many
whatever,
times? How many
or
times
raped
has
somebody.
the person been pulled up on it?
let's say 1 and then let's say 5 times. Let's give 2 different
I'm not gonna
scenarios.
lie. Like, if you get pulled up on something like that once,
Mm-hmm.
you should be more careful than the most careful person in the world. So
Yeah.
at that point, that person doesn't want to change. That's my opinion, right? It's like, I think, yes, anybody can change from anything. But like, if you get pulled up on something like that once, right, whether extreme or not extreme, like, if you pulled me up on that, I would be 10 times more careful. Everything else, right? Whether or not I was guilty, like, it doesn't matter, right? Because that's a wake-up call. Right?
Sorry, what is abuse in this instance?
Any
Kind of abuse. So if
Any
not
abuse.
verbal,
Not
but like
domestic.
physical. Not physical,
Okay,
like
so
not
we're
even
not
domestic.
saying like sexual, just saying general
It could be,
abuse.
it could be general abuse. It could be sexual.
Okay.
It could be. I think, unfortunately, as sad it is, verbal does not get as much like, reps as
well, that's
like
'cause
physical.
anybody can say anything is verbal
right?
abuse.
So we're talking about physical. We're talking about sexual. Like those, like the ones that like when people hear like, okay, someone punched somebody or somebody like pinned
Domestic
somebody
abuse,
down.
come on, you know that one. The first one, you don't even need any warning. Any kind of beating anyone or fucking anyone up, nah, sorry.
It's done. I agree with
know,
that.
You know your shit.
What level of beating are you talking about?
Even if he's a slap. Okay, someone slapped. Tobi was so angry he slapped his girlfriend. Like heavy. Like how?
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
I don't hit first.
No, of course. One
It's another
disclaimer.
Tobi, it's not you.
Yeah.
It's another
Yeah,
Tobi.
another Tobi hits
Toby
somebody,
Williams
yeah,
was
for
so
real.
angry. That he slapped his girlfriend ridiculously. I think for me, if I hear that, it's done.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. In the
Yeah.
moment, absolutely. But the question is about rehabilitation, right?
Yes, of course.
I
Yeah.
think, again, they're all equally bad to be sure. But like, I think like some things are more addressable more easily addressable than others. So, like in my head, right, like domestic abuse, so like beating people, that's an anger issue.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something that like
Yeah.
you can very clearly
But it's not always anger.
address.
It's not always anger. Sometimes it's like it's down
Like
to
anger, power, like
not always. Sometimes it's down to how that person grew up and what they saw and what they think is normal, and that is a lot harder to change. Like if you beat your girl or your wife or whatever up, and someone's like, "Bro, you can't be doing that," you might be like, "Yeah, okay," but like if you've grown up in a household where that's the norm and like you think that you should be able to beat up your wife.
But it's still anger
But
that led
it's
you
still
to
anger.
to be
Because
it's still
the household
anger.
that they saw,
Even if
yeah.
you thought it was normal, sorry.
true.
Even if you thought it was normal, for you to get to a level where you want to beat someone up, is like, okay, you're angry.
It's like
so even though you're like,
riled
okay,
up aggression.
it's normal for me to beat up somebody when I'm angry. That is normality for them.
Fair.
Yeah.
it's like not learning the right mechanism to express your anger,
fair.
essentially.
Yeah.
So what, Josh, what are you saying? Like, yeah, they can be rehabbed.
No, I'm saying out of the
Depending
list
on
of
the
things, that's the
severity.
one thing that is like easily addressable compared to the rest.
I think
Because like
everything.
if someone is a serial rapist, like how do you
How do you
begin to
change?
address that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Like-
I think it's possible for everyone. I think
Everyone.
yeah, you can. I think you can rehab a lot, unless it's like a mental issue. And I think a serial rapist is mentally ill.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on, let's be
I
for real.
agree,
How can you-
100%.
How can you
And
enjoy
serial
it?
abuser in
Stand
general,
up,
even
brain
if
out,
it's
what's
mentally
going on
ill.
The
there.
other person
Yeah.
is not enjoying it. How can you enjoy it? How can you put your hand in someone's
Yeah.
breast and squeeze it? What do you get from that? You're obviously not.
Yeah, no,
You're
well,
sick
no,
in the
well,
head,
no.
100%.
Like-
100%.
But yeah, like you have to want to change. But like if it's something that's gone that far, then yeah, no. But like if someone's like, bro,
But guy, if you piss up like 5 different occasions,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Ariel, what about you? Do you think that people that have been like abusers can be rehabilitated or change their ways?
I agree with Toby's point. Like I think everything can be rehabbed. I think in answering that question, it just depends on what's the next step. Like, what are you? So, like, what? So after, let's say someone was a serial abuser and they're now seeing a therapist and they're rehabilitating. So, what is is it that can that work, or will someone else be friends? Can they ever get married? What is? It depends on what the second step
Yeah, I guess
out of it.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the rehab is they should remain alone. Sometimes.
maybe, yeah, that could be. I think
Yeah.
rehabilitation just means that they can
Because,
see
yeah.
the wrong in their
Alone,
way.
like-
and in
so
that
most of like
scenario,
solitary
I think
confinement.
unless you are mentally ill or crazy,
Yeah.
I feel like
Like-
everyone has the capacity to be able to see the raw error of their ways.
Yeah. I do you know what? I hear what you guys are saying. And I think for me, I'm going to like emphasize more on what Toby's point was, where he said, I feel like if you have done it more than once, you're actually mentally ill. And I think like in terms of like, I think that the ability to be
one exception for the mentally ill is if you're not educated. So now you know I was talking about education.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it's also one of those things where like even with the lack of education, I think it can be a bypass, not a bypass for the victim,
Yeah.
but a bypass in terms of like I'm not saying that okay, because you are not educated, good job, continue or
Yeah.
whatever. It's more so like, okay, now you know, like, are you
you've
willing to
called-
put
yeah,
in
if
the
you've
work?
been
And
called
that's
out
my
on
point.
it.
Yeah, if you're called out, now you
Because
know.
because if her question is, can you be rehabbed? And let's say education was the reason you didn't know. But when you're when you're trying to be rehabbed, the only
Yeah.
reason that would fail is if you are deciding not to
Not to,
understand.
yeah.
Exactly.
If you called out and you know
Yeah,
this
so-
is wrong,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting because I think sometimes now, like, for example, there's some guys who now say like some buzzwords, like for example, some people who are on that list where they now say some buzzwords where it's like, oh, I love consent. Oh my God, consent.
Or it
This
should
is
be
speaking
performative.
that is a
performative.
red flag.
Oh, it
I
is.
love consent.
Yo,
I
that is
like,
a
there was
red
someone that like
flag.
at the time I didn't know he was on the list, but
You should love it, but
I
you
didn't
shouldn't
know
be
he was
going
on the
to
list
ask
at the
that,
time, but I was later on told that he was on the list. But when I met him, I remember he was telling me like we were talking and he said, "Oh, I think you're so pretty." Da, da, da. He was like, "I just want to let you know that I love consent." And I feel like when someone just tells me,
Yeah.
Literally, I love
When it comes
consent.
out of the
That's
What
so
the
weird,
hell?
bro.
that's not in your head. Like that's not lie here.
this mic is killing. I'm just gonna hold it like this. So literally, I'm just gonna hold it like this. But it's so funny. Thank you, my dear. It's so funny because I feel like from the moment the guy said, "I love consent," I said
I just want to
something
let you know,
fishy going
bro,
down.
yo.
How can I be your first thing off the
Like
bat?
what?
I think you're so beautiful. I want to let you know that I love consent. I'm all about consent. And what it gave is that his friends had probably given him a talk.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Sorry, where did I stop?
You love consent.
I feel like anytime a guy wants to-
I feel like whenever, like, off the bat, somebody's telling me, because guys that actually care about consent are not telling you off the bat, I love consent.
I love
Unless
consent.
it's like
It's
a
not something to
conversation.
love, it's just
Yeah, exactly.
Nah,
exactly.
you can
It's not
love
Like
it.
it's ice
No,
cream.
but
You can love it.
So
And
I
if
feel
you-
like I love
lie
it.
to yourself.
So
You
because
can
I
really
don't
sat there
consent.
being
Give me
like,
consent
I
right
love-
now.
But the way you love it is not like I love consent because the more the person I'm
Wants
doing
it,
is
yeah.
into it,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, get me fired up, right? No, it's true.
Yeah, but
It's true.
I
No,
feel
wait,
I
wait,
agree.
wait,
I
I know
wait,
what
agree.
you're saying, but
a
that's
different
more
thing,
loving
though.
trust than
That's
the. It's not.
that's
exactly.
all
That's not
consent.
consent.
That's not
Because-
loving consent.
Because someone can give
Whatever
you.
it is,
I
love it.
Whatever
I love
it.
it.
I'm there.
Because
me
I
there.
feel like you
Yeah, that's
can't.
not consent, bro.
That's so funny.
Different. That's different.
See, that's what I'm saying. I might
It's
not be
the
educated
environment
then,
you
because
love.
then
Like
it's
it's
like,
No, but it's no, but
trust
still,
you're able
you
to
know
build
what
with the
consent is. So
person.
I think it's more so just like it's not about
yes or
education. I
no.
think
I
it's just
want to do this,
yeah,
yes or
exactly,
no.
yes or no.
Yeah.
I think him saying
Fair,
that
fair,
it's definitely like out of the
Yeah.
blue as well. Just one of those things where it's like you obviously already know that something is,
That's
So when it now
weird.
came to like that, this is actually this guy, and he was doing some shady stuff. So when it came to like that, oh, this guy's name was. I was like,
that
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
But like I
Boys.
said, the guy is still roaming free. I saw him the other day at a
Are they
party.
supposed to lock you up?
No, they didn't lock him up. They didn't lock him up.
I love consent. by
That's
the
literally
way.
what he said.
I always
But-
let you know I love consent.
and that's literally what I said. I want to let you know that I love consent. Like, I'm all about
I just
consent.
love it.
Anything you don't want, I'm not going to do. Anything you don't want to do. Mind you, this is someone that just comes and tell me, hey, I just think you're beautiful. Like, you're saying this off the bat.
Bro is saying it like you and him have said like you're in this
Like,
house.
said,
Yeah,
like,
You know,
Yeah,
you've read
yeah,
the terms
yeah,
and conditions.
yeah, yeah,
The
we can
TLC,
do
Yeah,
this,
like,
this,
like,
and
do you
this.
get- you know, a script, like, you're
Wow.
reading your terms and
Yeah.
conditions. How can you just, you've not even asked me, I don't even think at that point he's asked me what my name is. He's just come up to me to say all this. But it's so interesting. But,
Bro was talking like you
I
said,
really
oh,
love
I'll do
Crazy,
this, and I
yeah.
won't do this, and I
Yeah,
won't do
that's
this, and he's telling you, okay, we can do those two
Yeah.
because I love consent. Like, bro,
And even if it's something that matters to you, you really it's something you're just
Right.
discussing either in your head to your friends,
Exactly.
not necessarily to the person
Bro
directly.
said
Yeah.
off the hello, he's like, I love,
yeah.
I love consent. By the way, he's telling you this is where we're going. So just
Literally,
know.
literally. So, why do you guys think that some people were kind of like completely cut out of the circle while some people are still like within the circle after the whole thing happened?
Depends on the power they had.
Yeah, what you
Yeah.
can get from them.
And I also
Okay.
think,
Oh,
yeah,
power. Okay. I thought you said power.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
power and
Yeah.
some of those people were disliked low key already.
Yeah. So it was easy to
So
like cut
it's
them
just
off.
cut them off. You have a reason
They're already
to.
disliked.
Yeah, which is sad, but yeah. And
Is it?
It is. It's sad because it's kind of like for the exact same
Nah.
crime.
It's politics.
Yeah, but
Which is still sad. It's politics is not
Not
sad.
really, it's life.
No,
Ultimately,
it's life.
that person is
It's
better
still
off.
sad. Is life not
Be-
sad?
be-
Look at the
because
current political climate. Are you guys not sad when you're thinking about what's going on in the
And
country?
also-
Yeah, but like in that scenario, I'd be like, okay, it's better because that person just had friends that didn't like them.
Yeah.
No, but no. I'm
And why
saying
do
that like
people like them? Why, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, you get it, like, if
for the exact same crime,
No,
you're saying that because someone has more power than the other.
The crimes,
yeah.
Without the crimes being outside.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
but
it's
me
not even
saying that
necessarily
like
crime I'm talking
two guys have the exact same crime. There are 5 girls that have gotten what's the word?
Reported.
Accusations against them, right? Now one person is not that liked, the other person is like the coolest guy in the room or whatever they like to say, right? And now the person who was the coolest guy in the room, may not now be the coolest guy in the room, but he's like still mid in the room, but he's still in the room, right?
he gets
And the other
kicked
guy
out,
was kicked
yeah.
out.
No, and the other one is
just.
completely kicked out, right? And that's what I'm trying to say. That I said it's very sad because
It's
it's
just,
kind of like
it's just what you can provide in that
just.
friendship. It doesn't even always have to be monetary or like popular. It's more even the personality type of the person. If you're more of an outgoing person, chances are you'll find a way to talk your way into
back
remaining
in.
in that friendship. If you're
Yeah.
always a silent person anyway, chances are you'll just get caught off.
Yeah.
Because it's
Social
not,
outcast versus the life of the room.
It's
The
all
reason-
subjective to difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But many things can affect
like
it.
the reason why I say it's not sad, right, is because like yes, it is
Feeling bad.
unjust, right? It's injustice because like it's the same crime, but they're having different like consequences.
Repercussions, yeah.
However, like at the end of the day, they both still did something wrong, and now the question should now be okay. How could like the people who have the higher social whatever? How do you then? Like, what world can you create that would allow for them to get the equal repercussions?
Can I ask you a question?
It's not sad. It's just more a result of the social structure of how
yeah.
human beings work.
I agree. Because like those people that have that higher social standing, everyone else around them probably already worships at their feet and sees them as someone they need to have to be around.
Yeah.
Right. So those people are not going to cut them off.
Yeah.
Whereas the
And
other
then family
people,
ties as well. Sometimes these people are like close family friends,
Yeah,
like parents
like-
are friends. That's the thing about these kind of stuff. Sorry. I
and
didn't-
let's not forget the most important thing is a lot of them are probably doing the same shit.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. I think there is a level of condonance that happened. That happens. I think mostly because sometimes it's hard to reprimand something that you may not necessarily understand. And I feel sometimes, especially when it's like a guys circle group, obviously there's some guys that like, when they, like you said, when you hear the details, like, no, fuck that. But if it's kind of just like, they said that, okay, if it seems something that what people will consider as trivial, like, okay,
Yes.
you know, okay, this can be like, even though to the person that it happened to is very much black and white,
or something that they will do themselves.
there's something they can do
Yeah.
themselves. There's kind of just like, I beg, it's not even that deep. Like, this girl is just being whatever. Same thing, like I said in this situation with my friend, where it's like, they're like, I beg, because for them, it's kind of like, they've not heard, they didn't see it with their eyes, and whatever they heard is a story that was
Like a muted
exactly,
Yeah.
a muted version of it, right? But with that, the last question would be like, do you guys think that there was actually any like change socially when that movement happened?
Defo.
Yeah, for sure.
think so?
Defo.
Yeah.
Of
I think
course.
so because I feel
Yeah,
even all the
Bulgaria, to be
examples you
honest.
cited, people saying I love consent, people being like, it might
changed
not be it might not be where we want to be.
Yeah.
But I think there was movement. But there was also, I guess, negative parts of it that came up with you realizing how seeing in 4K how that your social
It works.
status can really just cover everything you've done.
Unfortunately.
So it had some negative outcomes.
It's kind of also the same. This is also like a just kind of it lists me of a tangent, but it's the same thing with those kids that killed that guy in Doan. Or was it Doan College?
Yeah.
Like, and those ones they all moved to England and like.
No,
No, it was Doan.
They killed
the
him.
one. They killed a
No,
kid
I'm so out of
through
it.
bullying.
I don't know
So this
about
happened
this.
like 2 years ago or so. They killed a guy
Actually,
in
it was
boarding.
Christmas.
Oh,
it was
it
Doan.
like a little boy.
It was a little boy.
Yeah.
They killed him.
It was Doan.
Yeah, it was
Doan.
Doan. And then when that happened, all of the people that bullied him and killed him, they moved out of the country because it's like, unfortunately, like you said, heavy on what you said in the beginning, where it's like this happens in every society, any society that has power and privilege, right? Unfortunately, it's one of those things that power and privilege does like
a role.
it plays a role.
Yeah.
But you were gonna say something.
I can't remember.
I think I'll go back to the original. I think there are positives and negatives. I'm gonna do like another spin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. So, but positives definitely like obviously like when you told that guy consent and he was like if you're a babe
I
now,
just love
if you're a
that.
babe now, no, it's true. If you're a babe now, all you need to say is when you're saying no and it's saying just say I don't give consent. Now, no, it's true. Now that makes a big difference. Before
Yeah.
they would have been like, come on, like
Yeah,
consent.
like no,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, just
Wait till-
That's a good spin. I like that. Yeah.
And then the other
fine.
angle is this, right? The negative side is this.
Now, even if
And-
you playfully
and I'll
say
say-
no,
Yeah.
guys are like, no.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
yeah.
The negative side I'll say is this, like in the way that guys interact with girls now is definitely changed. Back in the day, girls want to do this cute, oh no, stop touching me.
Most of the world.
I know, but like the
But also
guy,
the
the
same,
guy's
yeah.
reaction
His point
is
is
not
that the moment you do
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not the same.
It's
And
not
then,
And then
cutesy.
they'll not be confused, like, why
Yeah.
aren't you?
and then even
That's what
down
it
to
is.
guys moving to girls, like specifically the younger generation, like,
Yeah.
they can't really like approach a girl. Like, you know how you said a guy came behind you and he grabbed your waist. Like back in the day, we'll go behind a girl and dance with her.
Yeah,
grab her
yeah, of
waist.
course,
Like now, like you have to be careful.
Although
Because that can get called sexual assault very easily.
depends on the context.
I was gonna say if you're in a club, I think
Exactly.
and like,
Exactly.
yeah, if you're in a wait.
Fair,
Let me say.
fair.
I don't think, for example, like this thing that I said.
But
it
that,
was,
that is very
no.
opinion based.
I don't think
What that
It's
girl
nuanced.
decides to call it because you touched her, you held her waist. What that girl decides to call it it's up to her.
Let me
And
put
that's
it.
what
Let
I'm
me give you. Let me
Anyway, I
give
said
you.
I was playing devil's
Context.
advocate,
Yeah,
so
let me give you
that's
context, right? And I get what you're saying in terms of, for example, now let's assume I'm in. I've said the guy's name.
Carney.
No, not Kanye.
Carney?
Wait. Let me land now. You don't even know what I'm trying to say. Can we calm down? Use Carney. Relax. Relax.
I didn't even hear that.
Touch some grass. For example, like I've said, I've used this guy's name. I'm not giving him any publicity or whatever. But DJ Tunes, you're on an Afrobeat event and they're playing Ozeba, and you just go around and random girl and start whining. That one is where I can be like, okay, I understand. Like, we may need to potentially ask context, because in that context,
People whine to Ozeba.
wait, I'm not saying they don't.
That's so
That is the
I want to
craziest thing
Kelebu.
That's why I said use Carney.
Wait, no,
To be
no,
fair, if
no,
you have
I'm
enough
not
liquor in
saying,
your system, you can wine to anything,
let me land.
bro.
But I'm saying in certain contexts, I was going to get there.
Okay, fair.
You were rushing me. In a context like Carnival, or you're in a Caribbean party where they're playing, "Girl, I want to hold ya, put me up." I think in that context, the general nuance associated to certain events is like, there's a bit of a wine, right? I think it's so interesting because
What? So it's because you're going there expecting to get grabbed up.
No, I'm
No,
not
grab
I'm
up
not
is
saying that. Grab up is insane.
up.
And
Grab up
hold
is
up, I'm
wild.
not saying that. I'm saying in a certain, for example, in Carnival or places where it's like, if a Caribbean song comes on or you're in the Caribbean space, I think it's generally like known that like, okay, there might be someone that will try and dance with you or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Maybe back in the day, even if it was like Ozeba or whatever that was playing, somebody will come and try and dance with you. But like you said, I think in certain, now the context determines how often it happens. I think it's now less often that maybe you're listening to Rema and somebody comes and like tries to like get a wine from you, as opposed to like if you're in a Caribbean event and everyone is like winding their waist and stuff like that.
You can
So
wine to Rema.
Let me-
There's
I'm not
something
saying nobody's
about
saying
you,
you
girl.
can't.
Let me add to what you're saying.
Okay, go
so
ahead.
basically, the wider point is this, right? Like the thing of context, absolutely true, but like the context to which consent is given, like matters, right? So if you're in a club or whether that's Carney or Coco, whether DJ Tunes is or whatever, right? Like people are dancing.
Yeah.
Now, social cue is if someone comes to you and they're trying to dance with you, more times if people look and signal, yeah, guy, go away.
Yeah.
If she's she's whining and the guy comes behind, she looks at you and she walks away, you know consent has
it's not been given,
And so
100%.
you walk off, right?
100%.
So like in that instance, like if he tries to grab and then she like goes away and he leaves, right? It's like the social cues would say that like he like requested, she said no, he left it as is.
Yeah.
Now that's very different for if you're in a corporate day in the office and then you go and you grab somebody from the back where there's no music playing, there's just raw dogging line. In that instance, that is sexual harassment.
Yeah, that's the
100%.
same as putting your hand in someone's shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
sexual
yeah.
harassment. So
And-
like the context does matter.
Of course. And I think
Does.
even going back to what you said about like, you were saying that whole thing, I think as much as there are some girls that like that whole like, oh no, I don't. I think unfortunately like that also has to be dead. Like not to say that like, you know, everyone has their own different things that they like, sure.
Yeah.
I think within a partner
So
situation,
what has to be there?
like that whole like, oh no, I don't, Uncle stop touching. Have you seen that?
And then
Uncle
but
stop
you want-
touching.
yeah.
Whose song is it? I think it's Fowls or something. But it's one of, exactly. I think it's one of those things where like
Right.
that whole like what's it called? What do they call? Doing
What,
babe and
like,
whatever the guys like to call
Yanga.
it. Like yeah. Huh?
Yeah, they call it Yanga.
I never heard that. Oh, Yanga.
Yanga.
You've never heard
I heard so
Yanga.
Yandla. I was like, which one is Yandla? Yanga. I definitely feel like that. Like, there's no space for that in the modern day world, unfortunately, because it's one of those things where like it's too risky to now start reintroducing. Like, I think until we have fully established the dynamic,
Exactly.
we
Don't
can't start
reintroduce
introducing
it.
nuances.
Exactly.
We can't start introducing like,
reintroduce it.
okay, but if the girl is saying no, but she's smiling, then it becomes tricky because it's like
Nah.
now
If
it's just
you
one of
don't
the
know them yet, but if it's
exactly.
established,
As a man, if a girl does that, all the power is in the girl's hands if you continue. And I'm only talking to the men, right? Like, if a girl says,
even
no,
if it's an established relationship.
Yeah.
yes, because
No,
somebody
no,
in an
it's an
established
established
relationship can still come and say, I told Josh no this one time and he did this. It doesn't matter. You can't assume, bro. You can't assume. And this is for the guys. You can't assume. If somebody says,
Like just to
But
protect
interesting,
yourself.
Yes.
interesting,
Right.
and this is going to be way out of pocket. But there are some girls who do have certain kinds of kinks that happen within relationships that they're
Oh,
like,
yeah, of course.
some, no,
Yeah.
no, no,
Have
no, 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 no,
established
no,
boundaries.
They
Sign
kinks,
contract.
yeah, that's fine because they're like
That's
kinks in
fine.
terms of
Sign
like,
As a guy,
something,
you
to
know,
know.
like on that like no consent kind of level. So I do feel like I get what you're saying in terms of like contracts because I feel like I agree. Like people can come out and say like we were in a relationship, but then the person, because marital rape does happen and relationship rape does happen, right? So it's one of those things where like I agree, where it's like there has to be like either an NDA or something that like, or like a contract that approves that like this is what we're both consenting to. Because at the end of the day, we're just in a phase where, you know, people are finally trying to like be educated and grasp these things, that we can't start adding all these like, oh, but what if, or not, but what if, or like, oh, you could, no means no, but if they say like, we can't start doing all of that, because right now, like, there's too much danger associated with trying to like create spaces where no cannot mean no, right?
Yeah.
But
and that's why I say it comes down to, don't wrap up. I have one more thing I want to add.
Okay, go ahead.
Like another thing that might cause the conversation.
Okay.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Let me just say this thing. Right? Question.
Yeah.
Right? Especially for the ladies, right?
Yeah.
Like, when we talk about things like essay specifically, let's stick on essay, because rape is completely different, right? Like,
not completely, just slightly different from
but like different scenarios. Like, you can essay someone almost anywhere, right? Like rape, Anyway, that sounded crazy. You can essay someone anywhere. Anyway, that's not the point.
It's true, unfortunately.
When it comes to things like that, like, what do you think the responsibility of the other men around is? And again, like, I'm gonna give a scenario of something that happened. This question. So, like, you know, when that guy was in the O2, whose concert was it?
The one that was jerking off.
And he came
Jesus Christ. There's a guy that jerked off on a girl
and
in O2.
He came on the girl's leg in the O2.
He came on the girl's leg in O2.
And then he went and
he went to concert.
What?
He was jerking off in O2 and came on a girl. In the concert.
In a Ghana concert.
In a Ghana concert. The guy whipped out his thing, jerked off, and came on the girl.
What?
So
yes,
no,
in
that one is
O2.
mental illness. What?
No, it isn't.
Wait, let me ask. So this is my question. Like, in that situation, what do you think the role of the other men are? Right? And before we answer, I'm going to throw these questions to Josh, because you're the other guy here, right? Like, Josh, that scenario,
the men around...
Let him ask his question.
Yes, wait. So I don't think they saw him take it out and jerk it off or whatever. Like, I don't know. All I know is I saw the video. The girl filmed the come on her. They found the guy, they kicked the guy out, whatever, right? My question is, like, in that scenario, right? Like, everybody was like, oh, the other guys around should have beat him up. They should have done this. They should have done that. Like, I hate to say, like, I obviously, empathize or sympathize? Which one is the one where it doesn't happen to you? Sympathize. I sympathize with the girl, but I can't 100% confidently say that if I was there, I would start beating up the guy.
Not beating up.
You don't have to beat up the guy, but you can like be like, bro, like
call security
on him, bro. Like, move him
away.
Fair.
If you are in, have you guys seen all these things about?
I wouldn't want to touch that guy.
Wait.
No, of course not. Absolutely
Let's put it like, have you guys seen? I'm gonna say two things, but let me start with the first one, right? I'm going to give you an example, the exact same example, but something different. If you are in the O2 and you saw a guy punching a girl, what would you do?
No.
It's not because
that's deep.
It's deep. But if you were in O2, like, this is just a question.
I will
as a man, what would you do?
I will stop him from punching her, but I wouldn't start beating him up.
Thank you. That is the exact same level of response you have to have in this kind of situation. So it's not necessarily like, no one is saying naturally.
But
like,
this situation is different because after the fact.
After the fact, okay, they saw.
I think he's already.
But then let's also be for real. In like, okay, I don't know. Like, maybe in the O2, there's some people that, but I don't believe that there's not one single person that saw this guy whip out his dick or see the guy.
Yeah,
like there's not one. At least must have been one person that saw that.
Sorry, was he like sat down?
He was standing. They were in the concert. She's there.
And this was daytime.
Your money, na yo.
Yeah, she had the video. She had the
guy. Let's be for real. I mean, one's gonna, no. And then it's that, but it's like there's not one person that like did not. At least even if she was like, okay, no one saw him do it. She was like, what the fuck? This person just whatever on me. One person would have heard her say that.
Yeah.
Because for security to have been called, I mean, somebody called it.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a level of urgency. The same way, if you see someone in immediate danger, I think sometimes the issue is that people don't necessarily see SA as immediate danger, but it is.
But you don't see it.
But you know
it's always after the fact. It's always
after the fact. I'm not going to say that you grab him when he's doing that. I'm saying, but like, if you see someone is yelling, oh my God, someone did that, there should be immediate action that's taken.
You, right? Like, so I don't know if you know this story. I can't remember where exactly. I think it was in America where, like, someone was brutally murdered in front of a whole block of flats. Everybody they were in their homes. They heard every single thing. The person was screaming for help for like an hour, 30 minutes, or really chased. Like, and the first got murdered. Nobody called the police. And that's murder, right? So like, the point there is, it's not that people treat, violence differently to like sexual assault. It's that, I don't know, there's this just human
Was the person black?
No.
Okay.
They weren't. It's a very important question, but yeah, they weren't.
Yeah.
And so it just goes to show, like, as people, there's this
stay out of it.
Stay out of it.
It's not your business.
Do
Yes.
your day, do your own thing.
Yes.
And it goes back to what I said earlier about like the inherent selfishness of people, right?
And
when you can't relate to something, you leave it.
Bang on. And that's why I asked the question, because like I was asking for myself, but like it's for like everyone else, all the rest of the guys, everyone, including myself, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is the woman's expectation, and like how far do you expect the guy to go? And like logically, there's it, because like realistically, right? If you did that to someone I knew, as my friend or my sister, I'll probably punch the guy in his face immediately. Like I'll probably want to kill him, right? Like let's say that. But if you did someone else, like what's the expectation, right?
You should have that same. No. They should punch him in the face, but you should have the same level of anger. Not the same anger to physically beat him, but anger that something immediately needs to be done.
Yeah,
I think for me, like even with this whole thing of like, oh, somebody's in like, I physically cannot see somebody in a position of disadvantage and I don't want to help, even if it's just calling the police. I'm not saying I'm going to step in when they're beating somebody to death. I'm going to like, take me instead. God forbid. I'm not saying that will happen. Exactly. But
separating him from
like,
her,
being like somebody needs to come and help. Like police were the authorities. I think there has to be a level of like urgency. And I think because like, like I don't think people actually sometimes fully understand how like degrading like SA is. Like I was in a situation in Barcelona where it's not as crazy, but it's still SA. I was in a situation in Barcelona where I was on the train and it was a very, very packed train. And the guy, one random guy behind me started grinding his groins on me.
Sorry. He said grinding his groins.
He started grinding, and at first, like, you would trick yourself and be like, oh, this is not really happening. So I literally moved away. So I moved away to, like, create space, distance between. I'm like, maybe it's just a packed train. I moved away to create space between my body and his. This guy followed me.
But, like, again, what do you get from that? So that guy's also not
But then that's my point. And it's like, nobody will ever really understand how you literally feel at that point like an object. It's such a degrading experience. And I know that sometimes people like to say like, oh, like, with these kind of things, like, okay, he's done this. Of course, after the fact, like, people notice maybe after the fact, but something should have been done. I think the concept of like, oh, like, we don't know what to do, like, da-da-da. I think it's so crazy because, like, I can't even imagine how that girl in the O2 felt or how she's even feeling right now. Like, that must have completely changed. Like, did you guys ever watch Sexual Education? When the girl, so there's a thing on Sexual Education. This guy he was just wanking in the bus when she was there and wanking looking at her. She didn't take the bus ever again. And I think that kind of thing can literally change your life.
Yeah,
like,
I was working looking at her.
Yeah, in the bus.
Why are people doing all this?
Like, bro, and it's one of those things where, I mean, it's a series, but it was showing how these things happen in a TV show. But it was showing how these things happen in the world. And it's like, this completely has altered somebody's life. Because it's like, as much as you may not feel like, okay, they're not immediately dead, you don't know what a part of them has, like, died because of that. Like, they can possibly not go to work the same way they used to go to work because their life has changed.
I can't lie.
Like, it's scary.
Yeah, I don't think maybe I've experienced essays, seen that differently from guys. In fact, I know that I have. But like when it comes from a woman, for me, it's always been very different. Like I'm able to like pass it by, right? There's only 2 times when I've ever thought, wow, this is what women feel like. One time, it was a colleague, right? And this colleague he likes guys, and he walked behind me, and we were cool, right? And he like squeezed my bum.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Like. Or tapped it or something. If any other like guy did that, I'm not saying I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, did it. And in that moment, that was one of the first times when I said, damn, this is what women feel like. The second time, the guy didn't even touch me, right? This is the most degrading story ever. But I was in Atlanta. I was walking, one guy in a big Escalade. Yo. And then he said, like, Chana. And I was like,
trying to pick you up.
Yeah. And I was like, yo. I like the whole rest of the evening. All I was thinking is, I was thinking, no, for real. I was thinking, damn, like, imagine how women feel. Like, you go out and like men try to talk to you again and again and again. And I was like, the only reason that felt like that, like, even if it was a woman and I wasn't gonna go with her, I might feel like, come on, like, of course. The only reason I felt like it's because I didn't like that guy, and I was thinking, damn, like, women are going. So when you're saying like, oh, like someone might decide not to take the bus, like, bro, like, you think like. I'm not going to that place again. Bro.
And you also, it's Atlanta. You don't even know if that person, if the guy said, enter my car, you said no.
Yo, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that guy might
like,
there's
so many different kinds of threats,
inside.
And I do feel like, I get sometimes people say like, oh, we're inherently selfish. But I would like this podcast to like really highlight the fact that like, even though, yes, as humans we are, like, there does kind of have to be a certain level of urgency to these kind of things. No one is saying, I'm not saying that you have to beat somebody up. I'm not saying like, I don't support physical violence, but it's one of those things where it's like you have to protect the people. Be your neighbor, you be your brother's keeper. Like I feel
Absolutely.
like that's one of the most important things that we can be as.
Yeah.
That's I love that you said that because I think
You know?
it's really just a symptom of not being in like a what you call it, like, because if we're in a ideal society, like an ideal Christian society, for example, that type of thing wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because you'd be there, even if you'd have degenerates doing that, like people around would like rally around, make sure this your mic is killing me. Make sure like the woman involved is okay,
Yeah.
protected, like
Yeah.
guarding off the guy, like chasing him out. Some people might even stone him. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like so, I don't. It's a wider commentary on the type of society we're living and the values that we're living by.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But this was actually a very good conversation. I hope you guys had
Amazing.
fun.
Yeah.
But
Very educational. I liked it.
thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys were taking notes, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Peace.